Hello, everyone, and welcome to RHAP's coverage of Australian Survivor Brains V Brawn. I'm your host, Shannon Guss, here for our fourth podcast of the week. My brother says that Australian Survivor is like running on a treadmill. If you stop, you will fall off. So you got to just keep going, keep consuming all the content, and that's where we're at with this feedback show with an amazing guest. You might know him here on RHAP. Don't know if you've heard the name, just a little, the R in RHAP. It is the great Rob Cesternino. Rob, thank you for being here.
Shannon, I'm so excited to be here, but has anybody seen my hat? I had a hat.
Yeah.
And it was very important to me. It was a really cool hat. It meant a lot to me, and it was right here.
Yeah. I'm going to get you another hat, a better hat.
No, this was my hat. This was a family heirloom.
Oh, I'll get you a better family heirloom.
Yes.
A more expensive one.
Okay. All right. Wow. Shannon, I'm so excited to be here talking with you about the rivalry of Brains versus Brawn. Can you believe it? That for years, the two sides, that the feud continues.
I know, the war. I also thought that was funny. It was like the war.
The war
and I was like,
continues. And this time it's about payback. The Brawn, I had to remember, like, wait, what even happened on the last Brains versus Brawn?
We covered that together.
Sure. I remember, and then I had to like go back and think, oh wait, the George and Haley got. I guess that's the Brains, and then was all of the Brawn in Australia really licking their wounds for the last couple of years over this? Like, is there that big of a rivalry?
I think so. I mean, okay, right now, name one Brawn from the Brains V Brawn season we covered together 2 years ago. God damn. Oh, wow. You got me. Name a second.
Don't ask me to name two.
Double or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a second. Flick. Saw in 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a Flick on every season, right?
Yeah, and Flick is often my winner pick. There were 2 Flicks who played twice. So there was, and 3 of the times Flick was my winner pick. So my winner Flick. So unlikely. Anyway, Rob, how are you feeling about, first. Subscribe to WeKnowGlobalSurvivor.com. Subscribe to the feed, all the content.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Everybody, you have to survive to WeKnowGlobalSurvivor.com is the link to subscribe. And I'm sorry to say this, Shannon, but if the listeners don't subscribe when they listen to this podcast, I'm sorry to say that the show's canceled. I'm sorry. I didn't make the rules.
Australian Survivor or my show?
No, your podcast.
My podcast.
Yeah. I think that's. I got the word from corporate, and I'm sorry to say that Shannon needs subscribers. So go to WeKnowGlobalSurvivor.com. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Please subscribe to the podcast. Oh my God.
Look, it pains me to break the news to you this way.
Yeah, on a podcast does seem like a really intense place to do that. I have cats to feed. I don't want my podcast to be canceled.
That's corporate is breathing down my neck.
Corporate. What's that? The HAP and RHAP.
Corporate is really. That's why I want to speak directly to Kent. If you're listening, we want you to invest in Rob as a podcast.
Okay. I'm speaking to Ken in a couple of hours. Should I ask him?
See, I mean, throw it out. Like, hey, I need a salesman like Nash, I think, to get this deal done. Yeah. But look,
he'd be like, "You happy? Yeah, I need your money."
Yeah, Kent,
I put you in my podcast.
Look, you wanted, your dream was to be on Survivor, but did you ever dream about having your own Survivor podcast?
Yeah.
Think about it.
What would that look like? What would he be able
who
to
cares?
Is he going to do the Australian Survivor podcast?
I mean, does he want to?
Wow, my God.
Hey, so if he buys the company, Shannon, what choice do we have?
Okay. 4 minutes into this podcast, you've said that you might cancel it and that you would give it to Kent. Yeah. He would burn it.
I didn't say I would give it to him. I said that he could invest in the podcast.
Okay, but I still host it.
Also, the listeners can invest in the podcast when they become a patron.
Yes.
And that's a compound investment, because not only do you get years and years of community-based relationships, we also make it so easy for you to watch Australian Survivor. Just in case anybody is just, okay, let me just check out the vibes. If you want to actually watch the show,
yes,
robisawebsite.com/patron. We got some information. We make it so easy.
Yeah. hey, you person listening to the 4th podcast we've done this week on Australian
Well, maybe
Survivor,
people
who still
want to check
doesn't
out.
know
I
how
like
to
when
watch
Rob and
Australian
Shannon get
Survivor.
together.
Yeah.
I'm not really following it, but let me just put it on the background.
That's the audience we're targeting with this message. If you are someone who is 4 podcast episodes deep into this week of Australian Survivor, but doesn't yet know how to watch Australian
Or
Survivor,
maybe it's annoying. Maybe it's like,
it's
it's actually very hard for me to find ways to watch Australian Survivor. Is there any way to for it to be easy?
Yeah, become a patron, and also, please, if you're that person, please message me. I want to meet you. I just feel bad for that person. Like,
maybe somebody's like requiring a lot of brawn to go and go out and gather these episodes. I'm like, boy, I'm gonna use my brain.
Yeah,
I want to make it easy.
Yeah, Rob, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm all off center now. I didn't expect to have my podcast threatened.
Well, look, that was from corporate, and if Kent buys the company, then maybe it'll be a different story. I guess it depends how your exit interview goes.
Okay, well, is this Zippy, by the way? Is this what is this? We're not even.
No, it's not. So that Shannon and I talked before the season. Shannon was like, "Okay, we're going to do daily coverage." I said, "Great," and I said, "Do like keep it zippy."
No, I said Zippy, and you said I really like that.
I love Zippy. I said, yeah, it'd be great. You come on and then do like 20, 30 minutes a day.
You never said 20 minutes.
I said just get in and get out. Like a little
20 minutes. What? I could never do 20 minutes.
Yeah. And you just come in and get out. And I said, okay, this is great. And I'll come on the first week and I'll get to listen to all the podcasts. And then every day, this was not Zippy. You did an hour and 15 minutes with Mike Bloom about the last episode that I watched.
Firstly,
is there anything even left to talk about for me?
We'll keep this Zippy then.
I don't even get to give out a Chissy point.
Yeah, that's true. Firstly, I did an
hour
hour 5 with
Nash,
Mike.
if you're listening, I'm sorry I'm not here to give you any Chissy points.
This is why they would.
Shannon gave all the days away.
Yeah. No regrets, obviously, on taking your Chissy points. I did an hour 5 with Mike, and you never said 20 minutes. Actually,
hour and 5?
Yes. Originally, what you said was 45 minutes. Then later, you were like 30. I was like, okay, Rob, just to placate you. And I knew it was never going to be 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was not Zippy.
It was Zippy. It was Zippy. For the people subscribing to the podcast, let us know. It was Zippy. People are liking it. You could listen to it on a commute. Plus, if you're listening at 1.5 times...
A commute? Where do people work? On the moon?
How long do you think it takes
The next episode is out already. They're going to go back and listen to the episode? And when are they listening to this?
A 30-minute commute is so standard. There and back, you've listened to the podcast. People don't have to take a lunch break?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it could be a little zippier, but you're doing great, Shannon. I love how excited you are for the new season.
Thank you so much. You know what's going to be a Zippy podcast when I end this podcast right now? 8-minute podcast. That's what you wanted, right?
Are you threatening me with a good time?
Are you threatening? Hey, are you threatening me?
You said you're going to end the podcast.
Yes, because you keep threatening me.
I came in with takes. I'm ready to talk about Global Survivor.
Okay. All right. Rob. Okay, I'm starting this again.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to RHAP's coverage of Australian Survivor. We're going to talk about actual Australian Survivor now and not just the production meeting that you just heard, which should make you feel badly about Rob. Rob, how are you feeling about Australian Survivor?
I love it. We're so back. Brains versus Brawn again. This time, the Brawn strikes back. We'll see if they can get it done. We're gonna need a Brains versus Brawn 3. It's gonna be best 2 out of 3 if Brawn can win. Well,
it's actually at the moment one of every Brain Brawn Beauty has won. So this will be the decider, right? We've had the Brawn and Tony win. We've had Michelle win, the Beauty. We've had Haley win, the Brain. So this one's gonna put it over the edge. Although Beauty has had obviously less opportunity.
Yes, less opportunity, but yeah, I'm very excited. This is Australian Survivor at as advertised.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much Australian Survivoring. Like it's
if you like Australian Survivor, you're gonna love Australian Survivor.
Yeah, and if you don't, then what are you doing here? Then you're torturing yourself. Like you know what? It was 10 seasons in. Like it is very much as advertised, as you said. Now, the interesting thing about this season is what I want to ask, and I want to thank Nick Callahan, who is doing. He's giving me like a social media lay of the land, and he like made a very comprehensive report about what social media is saying. And my biggest takeaway from the report was it's people are feeling a lot of feelings, but I think a lot of like negative feelings towards the players. Like, it definitely is making you feel things, and it's very big. They said, like, you know, the most explosive season ever. It's certainly very volatile, and I would agree, maybe the most volatile start we've had. Then, you know, on brand for this week, Mike White question, but is it fun? Is that a good thing? If there's a very kind of negative energy and it's more about who we're rooting against and who we're rooting for, are you having fun with it? Or is it more like, it's big, we're certainly not bored, but is that like, is it good, you know?
Well, social media is going to social media that almost
it's funny
never.
How that is when it like distilled into a report. I'm like, people are angry. You know?
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing with like 1-star reviews. You know, that nobody is almost like, that was fine. You know, people are like, they got to go on and have a take, and usually that take is going to be that they're mad about something, and so ultimately, you know, who cares what they have to say? This podcast is for the lovers of Australian Survivor.
No, I'm not. These people love Australian Survivor. That's not my point. My point is that a lot of the things, like, people like were, you know, are like, you know, Nash is a lot, Kent was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's like kind of a lot of negative energy on the show. It's interesting. I mean, I think that it does exist.
Don't you want to feel alive, people?
They do. They love it. I'm just saying to you, is it something that can this carry a 24 episode season if it's all kind of in that like kind of really aggressive, like negative energy?
I think so. I mean, not once during this week was I like, oh, there's too many big personalities here. I hate this. I'm like, I'm loving this. I love all the big personalities. I love all of the characters.
You love them?
I love them.
You loved Kent?
I loved Kent. Yes, I was sad. I was so sad that Kent went home.
Yes. Sponsor the podcast, Kent. You were our favorites.
Kent was incredible television. And I don't know what Kent was doing or thinking. I have no idea. Yeah. But look, the man has the success can't be questioned, okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in this show, it probably can. I didn't pull this feedback question from Randy Newport, but it was like, why was Kent the way that he was? And I don't know. I don't think we can keep it zippy if we try and unpack that.
Shannon, what is his business? What is his line of work?
It's probably like a Barney Stinson thing. It's like no one really knows.
Nobody really knows? Okay.
Yeah. But he makes the money that we require. I was angry that Australian Survivor, like, he's like, I couldn't buy my place on the show. I was like, why? If he was able to do that, maybe we'd still have Talking Tribal. Like, what are we turning away money? We were so high and mighty that we wouldn't take millions of dollars.
Throw out a number. Like, I mean, Kent, they should have paid him because he was great television. He was incredible. He's doing things that nobody else is thinking of.
For good reason, I think. Yeah. No, it's not that nobody thought knows.
About it. Why?
It's not, people thought about it. It's just that, like, they didn't give in to the voice inside their head, you know? Like, there's a different,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm fascinated by Kent.
Well, okay.
I'm fascinated by Kent. I'm fascinated by Nash.
Yeah. Let's talk about these people, I guess. Yeah. No. Tell me this.
I just want to get inside their heads. What makes them tick? Why are they the way they are?
I think that if you were to get inside their head, it would be like the burning meme where it's like, this is fine and everything's on fire. Mm-hmm. And there's a hat, but he's wearing a hat. He's wearing Max's hat, the little dog. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about Nash. Let's talk about the Brawn tribe a little bit. We'll kind of go through chronologically through the week. Brawn go to tribal council first, and let's start with Nash. What did you think of Nash wearing the idol on the mat? Day 2, wearing it at camp, minute 5, and playing it, and now he's idol-less. But he won the vote, Rob.
He did. He got Candy out, and it was looking not so good for Ursula for a minute.
Yes.
Is Ursula a common Australian name?
I haven't met.
I don't think I've ever met one Ursula in America.
From Little Mermaid.
Well, she's not real.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me that? Are you like, this is like a Santa Claus thing for me right now? Don't take away my magic and wonder. Yeah. She was real on the Disney cruise I went on last week.
Oh, okay? They had a real Ursula?
No, they actually didn't. Mm-hmm. They had like big tentacles come out of the floor in the stage show. It was really cool, but it was clearly a puppet. I don't think she is real. Okay. I digress. Anyway, Nash.
Nash was so great. So yeah, he really got me thinking, and I have this theory that I want to try out on you. So Nash comes into a tribe, and he is going to play this game like super aggressively. He goes out and he looks for an idol, and he comes back and he finds it, and he's playing this game like looser and more aggressively than anybody else in his group, whereas he's in a group where everybody is playing rather conservatively. And so I think that this is a situation where I think more often than not, he comes out on top because he's the one person that's acting differently than the whole rest of the tribe. I call this theory, this is, nobody's ever come up with this before. This is called the Nash equilibrium.
I'm so glad. My brother said this week we have to find a way to work that in, and you did.
Yes.
Do you actually believe anything you said, or it was just for the pun?
Well, here's what I do, Shannon. I see somebody do something, and I'm like, boy, now I'm questioning everything. Is Nash a genius? Is this going to work?
No.
And spectacularly, it did not.
No, it did.
But I'm still fascinated by the idea. I would love to know more about Nash and what does he sell? What is it like to be sold to by Nash?
We saw it. You happy? Yeah. I've put you in my group. I need your number. We've seen him sell. It was.
Does he just like come into the meeting and it's like, okay, Shannon, all right, like we're putting in an order that's gonna be $10,000 from you, okay, right now. So you're sold. You're good. We're doing the thing.
Yeah, just intimidate you right over the line. My thing with Nash that I think I'm still struggling with a couple of days later, because we keep things zippy because I ruminate for days, is like, what did you think of him playing the idol though? This was like the one thing I was like torn on.
No, I think that he did the right thing. I think that, you know, and you and Chappelle talked about this. It was like very handsy of like Russell famously did not play the idol and then went home with it when he was wearing it. I don't remember if I guess he would have saved himself, obviously, if he played the idol. So, yeah, I feel like if you're Nash, why not play the idol?
Well, because now you've gone back with no idol and you're probably next out. Like, it's not like clean slate, no idol. Like, you've chosen to start playing the game this way. If you have an idol, firstly, intimidation, and secondly, protection for the next vote. Like, surely at some point, like, if you're going to play this way, like, have some balls. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, if I could, for a second, just devil's advocate and be a Nash defender. We saw in Survivor 47, to some degree, of, you know, the play the idol as soon as you get it. Maybe Nash watched a lot of Survivor 46 right before he played. Oh, I don't want to go home with the idol.
Well, he didn't watch 47 because they played right after 46. So maybe that was it. Yeah. They played around August. So that was the last season.
So I do wonder if there is something to it. If I was going to try to, and again, I don't think so that, you know, I don't like paint me as the ultimate Nash defender, but like,
well,
okay, could I?
Said, yeah, so.
I'm trying to argue for it from a devil's advocate perspective.
Yeah.
So if I'm Nash, can I come in? You know, he is like an arrogant sort of like boisterous personality. Can I come in and sort of like build like a great position, almost like first HOH in a Big Brother season of come in and I'm going to really assert my dominance over the tribe of, hey, look at me. I got the idol. Everybody's going to come with me on the first vote. I'm dictating the first vote. I'm telling you everybody how it's going to be. I'm going to go to the challenge. I'm going to have the idol. Everybody's going to respect my power in the game. And I'm going to play it at the first tribal council, you know, as opposed to if he just keeps it in his pocket and then just pulls it out. Does everybody like mistrust him more? And again, he did not do a great job. But do you mistrust him more when he comes out and then surprise everybody? I had the idol the whole time and I didn't tell anybody.
Well, I just think like, it's scary. He's a scarier player that he also doesn't play it. And like, yes, maybe he gets sent out of the game, but like that, if you're like looking to intimidate people, like that's scary, you know, and then he still has power. Whereas now it's like, he did come out to have this like, you know, big HOH round, but still it was like, okay, you have me. Here's my, you know what, like, let me give up the idol. It kind of like gave up, like, I actually am scared. And he didn't need it in the end. But I think the issue for him is like, if you think you have the numbers, if you have 5 people against their 7 and they can't split on you, then their 7's not coming for you. It's coming for like an Ursula or maybe like a Kristen, because you will protect yourself. That's implicit immunity. And I think the fear for him is that they can split, which they couldn't. But if they thought they could, then you're out the door. But also, I think if they fail split, this is the interesting thing. You'd hate to go home because, like, if Morgan and Kate were on the Ursula vote, then it is a 5-5-2. So you'd hate to, like, it be a fail. Like, you did pull over numbers, and they tried to split the vote, but they couldn't, but you still had 5 votes on you. And what I thought was really interesting was that the Noonan group, like, who was Noonan's core group? Like, you would think Noonan, Paulie, Jesse, Ben, you don't know most of these people. I know you're not.
I'm just,
Candy, nodding. Yeah.
Yes.
But they put 4 of their own, of that 5, which to me is like the big 5, on Ursula.
Huge 5.
Morgan and Kate, the people who flipped, they were on the Alpha Nash vote. Zen and Petey, the biggest flight risks on the Nash vote. which would have given Nash the opportunity to keep the idol and win over the top. So have I lost you completely? But I think that this
a little
is
bit,
interesting.
but I'm sure the listeners are loving this.
I think that my point is that you would hate to go home on even a failed split, right? Because it was like 5-4-3, could have been 5-5-2. You want, like, there are numbers there for him. I just think, like, have some balls. I don't know.
I just feel like that was if you're Nash, okay, was the tribe going to anoint Nash as their leader without him coming out with the idol? I think that for him was a little bit of
He's
like
not their leader.
I think that he felt like that, okay, well, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because now everybody's going to respect my position as the person with the idol, and I'm going to be able to sort of, bully my way to, and I mean, lowercase b bully, to sort of like bully my way into being the alpha tribe leader, and everybody's going to respect my position, and I'll dictate the vote because I'm coming out in this powerful position to start off the game.
But that's not, like, how is Nash not the next person out of the game? Like, paint that picture for me.
I mean,
he doesn't have an idol.
He's also not great in the challenges. But look, that we see crazy stuff happen all the time, especially, and that's what I do love about Australian Survivor and why it's so different from the US game, is that, the small tribes, the dangerous fun, does really limit the options of what could happen. And if we just look at what happened in this third episode of, like, okay, Kent's got a plan. He wants to take out Miles. And then we get that, okay, don't ask me the names, AJ?
Yes.
That he has a plan about what he wants to do, but the girls have a different plan of what they want to do, and then they hear about AJ's plan. They're like, "That's it. Now the plan is AJ." Like, it can shift so many different times, so we almost never have like a very simple vote. And who knows? There's an idol at play on the other on the Brawn tribe. So
yeah, like, not for Nash. Like, I think that's the thing, is like, who does he have? Like, I think Morgan and Kate flipping, I don't know if they thought they were coming over the top of the split. I think they probably assumed he had numbers that he didn't have. I mean, Zen, we'll talk about, has been medevaced, but like, surely they're just like running right back to the fact that they flipped to what ended up being a minority of someone they didn't want to work with. Like, I feel like Kristen doesn't want to be there. I just don't know who his numbers are. He doesn't have protection.
Nash, if we were going to draft players to get far into the game,
but see how he survives.
But we saw also in Survivor 46 with Q, you have a smoke screen where it's like, okay, it's going to be Nash, but while everybody thinks it's going to be Nash, now let's actually get out this other person that's getting on my nerves. So, it's not looking great for Nash, but I don't think it's necessarily like a foregone conclusion he'll go in the next tribal council.
Yeah, like, no idol though, like one discernible ally. The one screwing up the challenge, like 3 strikes, and I think you might be out. Like, I don't see like where it goes.
Yeah, he needs to stop being in the hero role in the challenges. He needs to also walk it back a little bit.
Well, this is the issue, is that he'll be like, I can't do that part of the challenge, so I want to do the puzzle. So he's like putting himself out there that he will pull them back in other parts of the challenge. So he has to do kind of these really key parts of the challenge that then go really poorly. There's so many things. I mean, if Nash makes it through one more tribal council, like, I will buy you a drink next time we hang out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, how does he do it? Am I not imaginative enough? Like $10 or under, 10 Australian dollars, so like a $7.50 US commitment. Like a water. Yeah, like a water.
Anyway, I love Nash. I'm here for the big characters.
What did you think about, because this was some of the feedback that I was getting, like, I was really harsh on Morgan and Kate flipping to Nash because they said so many times like they didn't want to work with Nash, and people were like, oh no, they thought they would be next if they went with the Noonan side because they're at the bottom of the Noonan side. And I was like, are they? They were on the alpha of the split. They were in every conversation. Like, I don't see how they're not at best 6 and 7, which seemingly they should be with Nash. Like, again, like, at absolute worst, it's equal.
Yeah.
And they don't want to work with Nash. Were you harsh on them too? And can you point out
I was not
Kate
at
in
all.
a lineup?
I know who Noonan is, and I know who Kate is, but
she's in the denim.
It's the first. People just don't want to get voted out first. It's just. I don't think it's that complicated.
They weren't getting voted out first.
I think they're just scared. They want to be in the majority. It's
they
a
weren't in the majority.
It's a 47-day game. They're like, you know what? In 10 days from now, nobody's gonna remember who Nash or Candy were.
Well, they flipped to a minority. If anything, we never saw the fallout of that, and it is very possible that no one does care.
It's like there's 3 episodes this week. By the time they get to the feedback show, are they even going to still be talking about the first vote?
And yet, because I want your thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
You came from the denim.
I don't have a strong opinion on
People
Morgan
did,
and
though.
Kate
People
switching.
did. People thought.
Okay,
People
well,
thought it was
I would love to
good.
hear those thoughts.
No, they said that they would be at the bottom of the Noonan group, and I was like, where and how? They're in every conversation. They want to work with them. And also, this is the thing that I think is really an important part of this whole week, because this worked into Indy the next day. Being kind of like 5th or 6th or even like 7th of a group that's at that point 12 is good. Feels like you're going to make the swap, and then let's go from there. Like, that's why, like, Ali doesn't flip over. That Indy's like, oh, I don't want to be 6. Why? If they don't want to be 6 and 7, why? Like, AJ, I feel like if you're 9th, that might be bad. But, like, yeah, be 7th. Be exactly midway through the tribe. Is that not, like, the best thing in a 12-person tribe?
It's not a bad place to be in Australian Survivor.
Probably the best place to be. You don't want to be at the very top because you're going to get cut. You don't want to be at the bottom because they might get to you at a point before we swap. But, like, yeah, be at a point, like, at a space where no one's looking at you for several weeks from now. Like, why are people giving up that position?
Yeah. And you just maybe don't want to be in Kent's crosshairs where, okay, he's probably going to play his idol tonight. He's going to be around tomorrow. Do you really want him saying your name to everybody tomorrow?
Who? For Kent?
You know, if you're Morgan or Kate.
Oh, if you're Morgan or Kate. Yeah, so we went to the other tribe. For Nash, like, what power will he say that name with? Nash will be the name. Do you know what I mean?
Look, people just don't want to have their name said.
By someone who'll probably be out tonight. Or
Maybe,
come back with no
but
allies.
it's Australian Survivor, and this guy just found an idol in the first 5 minutes that he was here.
It feels like you would cave to the pressure. And that's not, I don't say that in a good way. You're like, yeah, that's scary. Is it scary? Where's the real fear?
You know, I'm not sure necessarily if I'm going to really, go out on a limb. Like, can you really trust these people? I mean, there's so much going on you've only been there for 3 days. There's 12 people on the tribe. Like, how many people I don't have like such great trust with everybody. So I'm not going to begrudge people too much for being kind of scared on the first vote.
I just feel like where is the fear? Like, if you're scared,
maybe I might cave. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like you would. And I feel like the thing is, for me, if you're scared, like, cling to the comfortable thing, which is like the majority of the people you want to work with.
I mean, look, I don't know if this is, it's probably unflattering about me, but I think I probably would go a little bit more with the path of least resistance on, the first vote or two while I'm still trying to get the lay of the land.
But is that the path of least resistance? I mean, like, they, again, like, won over the top on a plurality. They flipped to a minority. I don't know what they thought was happening. Yeah. Like, did they think that they were flipping to a 5 with Zen and Petey? Did they realize what they were doing in terms of, like, having the numbers? Did they not think about this at all?
A wise woman once said, anybody but me.
But I think this is like why is it's not them? It wasn't ever going to be that. This is the thing: is if Nash comes up to you and is like, if you don't vote with me, they'll vote you out next, and you're like, oh my god, they'll vote me out next. It's like, but they won't. Like, let's take a beat. You're not in the crosshairs. Like, people can't just say things to you to scare you that don't have any legitimate point in anything.
Look, and I don't know how big of a super fan any of these people are that are here in the Brawn tribe, but it's day 3. People are scared. It's hard to execute. We saw, like, Josh and I are rewatching Heroes versus Villains, like all-time greats, sometimes can struggle with doing a vote split.
Yes, that wasn't Sarie's fault. But I
wasn't even talking about her tribe.
Right. It was Tyson's. And that was bad. I think, I'm not blaming the vote splitters. I mean, it is interesting that I do feel like if Noonan's side had just put their 5 on Nash, again, he would have won, but he'd have had to play the idol. So maybe there's that in terms of, we talk about this with vote splits all the time, and we see it later on. Later on in Brains tribe, the girls are like, all the guys are on the beta. They're not important to the tribe. And they really, like, lay out their hierarchy, but they keep the power in their numbers. Noonan's side does the opposite. They're like, all of the wishy-washy votes, you're on the alpha, you're on Nash. And that might have doomed them. If Nash doesn't play the idol, that could be the difference. But it shows extreme trust. But that trust doesn't play out because even in being given that role, Morgan and Kate use it to flip to the plurality, over the top. And I don't know. I think I spend too much time thinking, like, what were Morgan and Kate thinking? Do you think that I spent too much time?
I think we're going to have to move past this. I think we're going to have to move on.
I don't think I ever will. Do they know they were doing a plurality vote? I just want to know. What did they think was happening?
Like, who are Morgan and Kate? I know. So Morgan is an Olympic sprinter. Do you think in any of her time as an Olympic sprinter, she studied over the top plurality votes? Maybe over the top of hurdles.
We did do a podcast on it. Maybe she listened to it. Kate, I mean, look,
tell me about Kate.
Kate has OCD, and so do I, and I think that this is a product of my OCD. So maybe she does think about it. Maybe she's there.
She's
thinking,
a dancer DJ.
Yeah.
Does she know DJ Bowie Jane?
Yes, all the Australian DJs know each other.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, okay, fine. I don't know, Rob. Is the feedback showing much
it's not you. Wait, Shannon, if it was you, I would be furious if you screwed up the over the top vote split.
They did it right, but they shouldn't have done it.
Stayed.
Did they know
I was
they were
happy.
doing it?
I didn't think about it so
Nash,
much.
Yes. I just want to know what they thought was happening. Like, do they do this if they're on the Ursula side of the split? I think maybe. Anyway, I don't think they knew what was going on. But maybe
the next episode didn't start with them really just beating themselves up.
No, we didn't get anything at all, and I would love to
I don't think they cared. They were like, hey, we didn't get voted out. Great. Who's Candy? We met her 2 days ago.
What does Noonan say to them? I put you on the alpha of the split, and this is how you repay me? Like, what do the Noonans and the Paulies think? Okay, is this Zippy? Is this
No.
Oh, okay, we'll move on. We'll go to the Brains tribe. What do you think of the Brains tribe? Are you mad at me?
No, I'm not mad. I just feel like that I think you're
obsessed as well.
You're getting hung up on a question that there's no good answer to. Like whatever the answer, it's kind of like, look, a lot of people love a show about a bunch of survivors who crash on an island. And a lot of people spent a lot of time thinking about like, what are the answers to the questions? It's like, there's no satisfying answer to the questions that you're asking.
Okay, Morgan or Kate, DM me what you thought was happening. Did you think you were going to a
like they're going to say like, we just didn't want to get voted out, you know?
Well, you weren't getting voted out.
Okay, they weren't.
They weren't close to getting voted out.
You're right. There's just no good answer to the question. You're like, at some point you have to just say like, hey, well, these are people that are probably not, super duper fans. Yeah. And they did what they thought was best.
I do think they probably learned what a split vote was like 2 hours before that happened. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. The Brains tribe.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about Kent. I love Kent. Lots of fun personalities here.
Yeah. Girls, guys thing happening, right? What do you think of that? The gender war. That's another war, like the Brains Brawn war, and we have the gender war, and that's where we're at. I mean, you were part of that once upon a time.
It wasn't much of a war. It was actually pretty like
a mix-up.
Yeah, I think that the guys tried. I don't get enough credit, Shannon, for that. The guys wanted to all stick together. And I single-handedly destroyed the guys' alliance.
Yeah, that
Twitter where's my credit for that? Yeah. You would have had an all-guys final 6 in Survivor the Amazon?
Who wins that season?
All guys final 6, season 6? Probably Alex.
Yeah.
And I saved you from that. That didn't happen.
Yeah. That's good. Twitter wouldn't like that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rob. That's great. No, nobody ever says that.
Mr. Rob. Jesus, you're not that old.
Thank you, King. Yeah.
People would like it. Based on the report I got on social.
The season.
Yeah. And you made sure that happened. You stepped up.
I voted for her.
Yeah. I think people like that, Rob. Like, you have a very successful podcast and the community really loves you. Like, I think that's all probably like factored in. Like, I think had you allowed a guys alliance, I don't think the podcast would be as successful as it is today.
Yeah. Okay. When we get some of this Kent marketing budget, it'll start off as he single-handedly saved Survivor when he stopped the all-men's alliance from steamrolling right after Brian Heidick and Clay went to the final 2. Survivor, as we know it, would have been canceled.
Yeah. Like the conspiracy theories about Cook Islands, but you had that for the men. I
saved Survivor. We wouldn't be here today.
Jenna Maraska seems like she saved Survivor, if that's the case. By winning.
Okay. Maybe we'll give her some credit too.
All right. I feel like I'm just like.
But I opened the door. I walked so Jenna could fly.
Well, you fell so she could overtake you and win, I think is more. I'm just worried because I feel like my podcast, like you.
A lot of people have compared Kent to Mateo.
So many. We did get questions on that. I'm glad you brought that up. Was it triggering? Josh Creek, Kent and the Machete in episode 1. Close enough. Welcome back, Matthew von Ertfelder.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I mean, I personally, I saw it after the fact. When I was watching the episode, I wasn't so much like, oh, the new Mateo. But then I saw a lot of people talking about it online. So kudos to Mateo.
Yeah. Well, you talk about men just like making just like a runway for the women. And if anyone should be called kings for doing that, like a lot of this Brains tribe are doing that. Maybe you're like Rich, like I think to Rich's credit, and Laura, I guess, trusts Rich.
Rich the director or Richard Hatch?
Rich the director.
Yes, because I'm the director of the podcast.
No, because he also laid down his game for the women. Like he's given like proper information that the women are coming for him. And through that vote and even the next is like, I'm not voting out a woman. He let that happen. Did he intend to? I don't know. But he doesn't seem very worried about it. And maybe he should be because they're trying to come for him. So yeah, in terms of like guys giving up power to all the girls, this Brains tribe has done that. And it feels like even though they're at a 5-5, they're going to throw AJ under the bus and the women have like all the power. So maybe they should be praised on social media. Yeah.
Maybe. Let's see how it plays out. We have a new witches coven. They used to call it coven in Survivor Second Chances.
Well, that wasn't right. Is that what you guys do? We don't do that.
Which I mean, I didn't say it, but I feel like it came up on Survivor Second Chance when it was was it Kimmy? Was it with Kimmy? No, it was Kelly. It was Kelly,
and Sierra.
Abby, and Sierra. The witches coven, sometimes called a coven.
No, not called a coven.
I didn't say. That's what they said in Survivor Second Chances.
What did you think about the fact that they immediately voted out a woman? Because that's what they required, one female sacrifice. Every women's alliance requires at least that, if not just all the women go home. Like I think this will actually be a successful women's alliance, but Indy did have to go. And to be fair, that was largely on her.
Yes, Indy did blow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her. That was a lot. I think Indy needs to look in the mirror a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. Who else?
But what a character.
Yes. Yeah, that was on her. She gave them the information again, but none of the guys except AJ, only finding out at tribal council, cared about the fact that this was happening. Now, the girls are voting for Miles. Kent's voting for Miles. That's already 6 of 12 votes. So there's not like a lot that can be done at that vote. But yeah, I mean, at every phase, it feels like the guys, other than AJ and then to an extent like Kaylin and Miles, are like, we're going to let the women have this because we might not win $500,000, but we will win Twitter's approval if we just kind of like hand it to the girls. And you have made a career on that.
Do you think it was very much social media based?
Yeah. I can't see another reason why one might be like someone like Rich, like fine, you have the VBs.
You think Rich is really tapped into the Survivor social media scene?
Yeah, I think he has. I think he's one of the Stan accounts. Like maybe that's what it is. Rich is a secret Stan. We don't know what any Stans look like.
If you told me Miles was like, okay, I could see it.
Yeah, or Miles.
But Rich.
Definitely. Yes, because why? This is what it is. Rich has a Twitter account that's like actually like the profile picture is Karen. It's like, why isn't he trying to come for her? Because he's a Stan. Feminist female rights activist Rich, who did call himself, he said his fiance thinks he's a champion gaslighter, and I thought, oh boy. But maybe secretly, maybe secretly, he has handed his game over to the women. So I don't, again, not on purpose, but they have complete power due to some of the idiocy of these men, and some of that is feminism, I think.
Yeah.
No?
No, I don't think so. I'd love to talk about Indy, though.
Okay, what about Indy?
I feel like that with Indy, it's a big tribe. 6 people is a big alliance to have. Like, I wonder if maybe the move to Indy wasn't to sell her on the full-on girls alliance. Like, maybe you could, like, if maybe far be it from me to mansplain women's alliances.
Oh, gosh.
But I kind of think that maybe here's a tactic that could work. Like maybe don't start off saying that you have a 6-person women's alliance because you can't keep the 6-person alliance together. One of them is going to tell. Maybe you have like little like 3-person alliances, and then somebody else is like, "Hey, this is us 3. We're the women. We're working together." And then really you kind of have like an onion alliance of the 6 women, but maybe not everybody who's like 5 and 6 knows about the entire 6-person alliance. Maybe they just think that, oh, we're in a 4-person girls alliance. What do you think of that?
Well, a 6-person alliance of 12 is a plurality of 12. Like, if you have a 4-person alliance, what's the point? We criticize that as Brad Culpepper math. Like,
Yeah,
be
but
happy that you have the numbers and that you're
and
not going home
Indy felt
anytime
very
soon.
much like, hey, there was 5 and she got added to the 6th.
Yeah, and you know what I say to that?
What?
Who cares? Who cares? Being 6 is the best possible space to
You
be.
didn't like that. Like when in Survivor One World, Kim, like on the walk, was like, "Hey, what about all of us?"
Yeah, and did that work?
It got her pretty far. She won the game.
Yes. So that.
But
so that
so I
worked.
think that you can't. I think it's hard to then have a 5 and then like, "Hey, come here." Like you're
Right,
gonna
now you're in
you're gonna be in the
numbers.
women's alliance.
Now you're in the numbers, and also importantly, if you're not in with those numbers, you have nothing else. I think she rapidly learned. So I think you take what you have, and it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Well,
So
look, people are weird. Okay, that
I think I've
that
worked.
maybe
Yeah,
that works for somebody, but Indy didn't like that.
I think I worked out what happened. The people that they cast on reality TV, present company excluded, have big egos. And they don't want to be 6 of 12, even though that's so comfy. Look, no one here. If we go either way, no, like so comfy, right in the middle at 6. But I want to be number 1. Why? It's day 3. Just be 6. Just be happy with being 6. But no one wants that. Everyone just wants to be out in front because of the egos, and that's casting. And I don't endorse, but I think I understand it psychologically. It doesn't make sense strategically. Like, yeah, being 6 is amazing. They'll never get to you.
What
It'll be
did
great.
Indy say about her company? She's like, she walks around, she looks for the inefficiencies, right? Right? So that's what she does. Like, she's not going to come in and be a cog in this women's alliance.
Being a cog is great. Justice for cogs. Like, yes, go be a cog. That's the best possible place to be on day 3. Best. And then stop cogging around.
Unless you're
like
named
day
Morgan
40.
or Kate, don't be a cog then.
No, do be a cog. I'm telling everyone to be a cog. Morgan and Kate, the same. Be a cog in the majority.
That's what they thought they were doing.
No, they flipped to a minority that they didn't want to play with. They made themselves cogs in a machine they didn't want to be a part of. They were already cogs in the majority they wanted to work with. Be a cog with the people you want to work with. That's the lesson. That is literally the lesson of the week. Be a cog. Be a cog. And Miles says this. Miles was standing out and people weren't liking Miles, but I feel like Miles said, he's just trying to like go with the flow.
Got to.
Cog.
Wow. I go with the flow.
Yeah, this is a new lesson.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, who else from the Brains V? Do you know how we can do this if you want? I was going to get up the confessional chart. Here I have it. We're going to look at the confessional chart, see what's happening with it, and we can talk about the players as you recognize them. And there's some people I'm going to ask you about to see if you know who they are as human beings.
All right. Well, I just want to say to people who are listening, who are probably like, Rob, you're a dummy, you're old, you have lost your miles off the fastball, not miles from Australian Survivor, Brains versus Brawn 2. You don't even know what you're talking about. Why are you even here? It's like, listen, I very much enjoy Australian Survivor, and I very much enjoy getting to podcasts with Shannon, but I got a lot going on here with do you know how many shows I'm podcasting about?
Rob, for every
and
person
if this was like later in the week, maybe I would have some more. It's only Wednesday night. This episode we're talking about came out I've had access to it for like 9 hours.
Well, how did you get that access? No, it's fine. For every single person calling you old and out of touch and maybe a little stupid, there's someone saying to me, why do you still care about Morgan and Kate? And I think that those two things combine.
There was 4 hours of shows. And like 5 hours of podcasts to get through to get to this point.
Not even importantly, there was 3 hours and you can listen on 1.5. I'm keeping up with Mike's pre-season interviews.
Does anybody out here try to listen to Shannon at 1.5?
Oh, don't do that. No, don't answer that. Don't tell me don't tell me that. It's fine. Yeah. However you listen to me is fine. There was already a thread in the Patreon group about what speed people listen to me.
I have to go at 0.75x to make sure I'm following.
That's why. Is that why when we podcast together, you're like, I need to.
It's like, yeah. One time Shannon and Omer did the know-it-alls. I'm like, hold on, I gotta go down to 0.5.
Mean, when I podcast with you, I'm like, I'm used to you at like 1.8. So I'm like, why are you talking?
Why is he talking so slow?
Yeah. This is getting too mean.
Okay.
To both of us. I don't think you're old and out of touch. And stupid.
I appreciate that.
If I were to order it, no.
Am I more out of touch or old?
You're not old. You're not Mr. Rob yet. And you're not stupid. You're a little out of touch. No, it's fine.
I'm doing the best I can.
Okay. Medium eggplant 4547 on Reddit. That was the Reddit post. I'm sorry. I had to go to Reddit for these charts. If anyone else is doing confessional charts and
Medium eggplant 457.
I don't go on the Survivor Reddit as a rule, and I
What
have
does
to
the
for these charts.
457 mean?
4547.
4547.
I just want to credit the confessional charts. If anyone else is doing confessional charts and you want to send them to me, I will put them on the screen in the feedback show and I will credit you. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to be going to Reddit. Here are the confessional charts. Firstly, let's look at who has no confessionals. Can I do this or can Sam do this? I think Sam could be scrolling down. Okay, so Zara has 0 confessionals. Do you know a Zara?
That's fake. There's no Zara on the show. Fake.
How many women are in the Women's Alliance? And can you name them right now? The Coven. Name the Coven right now.
Okay, and I'm not doing this from my notes, okay?
Well, there's a screen on with the confessional charts, but
okay, but I don't know how many people are. Laura,
yeah,
AJ.
AJ is a man.
No, Logan.
Okay, yeah, Logan's a woman. Yes.
Allie or Ally.
Allie, yes. She's right there.
Yeah, those are the big. Those are the big 3.
The doctor got 9 confessionals in the 2nd episode. Karen, the doctor.
Okay.
That's Karen. And then there's Zara. Those are the 5. There's Zara there.
Can I look at Zara?
Sam, you work on that.
Zara. Zara, the PTA vice president.
Yes, but also scroll down. Who else got 0 confessionals? Okay, here we go. Ben. Do you know who Ben is?
I don't.
Stonemason.
Ben the stonemason. Sounds brawny. Brawny Ben?
Yeah, he's brawny. He's right there in blue. I think that the crazy thing is that it? No one else got 0 confessionals.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. What about
that's I mean, really well, there was about 4 hours of television.
No, that's only 2 people with no confessionals is insane. That's like the best record.
I'm just seeing for the first time that so Pete. I thought it was Petey. His name is literally PDD.
Just PD.
But his last name is D.
Paul. I think because he's Paul with a D, and then it's PD.
Oh,
like if you were RC, which we have.
No, that's RC say no more. Okay.
Do you know Kristen? She has 1 confessional.
Kristen with 1 confessional. No.
She was the one who was like, "Why am I in Nash's alliance?" No.
Did these people get a intro package?
Kristen didn't.
Okay.
Who else?
But you know what? Australian Survivor, this is what I love about Australian Survivor, that if they don't have an intro package, I'm like, I don't have to care about this person. When they show me an intro package, then okay, time to care about this person. This is a character. That's what I love about Australian Survivor, is that there's like people that I do care about, and then people that the show tells me, Rob, don't even worry about this person.
Don't even worry about
this. Isn't even a real person.
Yeah, this is like an innie. Like it's someone who's they're not really a human. Yeah,
they're human. They're lovely people, I'm sure, for most part. Maybe.
Well, Miles' intro package I thought was funny because he had this like D&D group.
Miles package, yeah.
He had like all the nerds with him, and they all had to be a part of it. I'm like, they were on TV too. I think that's kind of cool. Just like in their D&D garb. I don't know if they're nerds. Just assuming based on their aura that I think they might be nerds.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
When you're costumed extras in Miles' intro package for Australian Survivor.
Do you think they hired them as actors, or are they actually his nerdy friends?
I don't think that they have the budget to hire actors to.
Well, because they turned down Kent's money.
Mm-hmm.
They would have the budget to hire actors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to know more about Miles. Is an exotic dancer also?
Yes, and Sam, will you also pull up photos of Ben and Zara to show Rob? Yes, Miles is a pole dancer, and like Miles has a lot of interests.
Yeah. Okay.
Miles plays soccer with my ex-boyfriend.
He plays soccer with your ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else he would know us both in different contexts.
Wow.
Yeah, and he does pole dancing, not with my ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he loves Survivor, and he plays D&D. Like, Miles has a lot of interests, which I respect. It seems like Sam is getting up. Oh, this is the Chissy chart. Okay, fine, we won't get up. But how will Rob ever meet Zara?
I'm on the Survivor Wiki, and so... Yeah, Zara, I mean, does she even have an intro package?
She has no confessionals.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good for Zara.
Looks like a nice lady, but, if no confessionals and no package, look, I got 24 Australians to learn.
Am I gonna get? I don't want the podcast to get canceled. I'm gonna bring up the Chissy chart because we can talk about.
I
Some
mean,
of the
it's
main
only going to get
characters here.
canceled if people didn't subscribe, Shannon.
Oh, but please, this is so much pressure for me. Please, I'm putting in all the effort that I have.
That I'm going to cancel your podcast because of backlash to what I'm saying?
No, just I don't know. Just because you're mad at me.
What? Why am I mad at you?
I don't know. I feel like you are.
Are you going to go back to talking about Morgan and Kate?
Maybe. Well, they don't have any Chissy points, so probably not. What do you think they were doing? No, it's fine. It's fine.
Mhm.
And just say that it's a podcast.
So what am I looking
yelly
at?
that my cat got
So
up.
this is for this audio podcast. We're looking at a
It's a video
bar
podcast
graph.
too. This is
Yes.
a Chissy charts. Have you met the Chissy? The Chissy?
I don't get to give out one Chissy point.
Nope.
Why
Who would you
not?
have given it to? Who would you have given it to, though?
Who would I give it to?
Yeah.
From this week. Did anybody play good this week?
Well, let's look at the charts. This is why I have the charts up.
Laura got so many points.
Laura
For
the
what?
Witch. She got 6 in episode 1 for like being the nexus of everything. But then I kind of fell off Laura because I
But
was
she
like,
didn't even
stop
go to
defending
tribal
Rich.
council, right?
Yeah, but the people who went to tribal council, like Nash won, couldn't give him points, and then the people who lost were the good ones.
See,
but they
this
lost
is
the vote.
my issue with giving out Chissy points every single. Maybe people don't need Chissy points every day. Like
They
Laura is off to this very artificially inflated sugar high.
I don't think that's. I mean, she's at the center. She's one of the centerpieces of the ruling Coven alliance that is doing very well. Like, look at the top 3 of the Chissy chart, all the way from the Coven. Well, not all.
Karen has how many Chissy points?
It's Karen, and she has 6. She got 6 in the second episode.
Can I speak to the manager here? And I hope I'm not being too much of a Karen right now. That
Okay,
6 points
you're
for
the manager
what?
for being at the center of the Coven again. Who has all the power?
Okay, the Coven voted out Kent.
Well, that was in the episode where they
And
voted out
also
Indy.
another person they wanted to work with.
Well, they don't need her. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're gonna be fine.
Logan has 5 Chissy points.
Who would you have given your points to if you're so critical? The women are in control. They're in control.
I mean, Paulie found an idol. I don't
Paulie
disagree with that.
Okay, that was me. I gave for that.
He has an idol.
Yeah.
You know, Zen is not even in the game. He has 2 Chissy points.
Yeah, that was upsetting. What did you think of that? Of Zen going?
I just think that if you gave him out at the end of the week, I don't know if it would look like this.
It wouldn't, which is why it's so much better to do it in the week because it's way more true of everything going on. That's
Max
so much
has
better.
I don't even know who Max is.
Max's hat got burnt. That's on you. Maybe you are out of touch.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Max's hat.
Who you gave that point? I didn't give Max a point.
Carlin has 4 points. I don't even know who that is.
Kaylin. Robert, you watching the show? He was the one who had the bar, the coconut bar.
If you
He had
say
an intro
so.
Package. He had an intro package. Did you skip the first few minutes? So it's not even the.
I remember it, but look, I know the big movers and shakers, the Kents, the Nashes.
Kent is gone.
The
Nash is out the door
AJs.
soon. You thought AJ was a woman recently. You put him in the women's line.
I thought he was a wag.
You thought Logan was AJ and that AJ was Logan? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. It's hard with the names that can be gender neutral.
I could see I think he's more of a Logan and she's more of an AJ.
Okay, we'll swap it for the rest. I see it, and I'm going to swap it for the rest of the season. This is happening. If that's what you say, then no. I mean, Logan is a big player. She has 5 points. It's well deserved. They could not get rid of her if they tried.
Yeah, I did love the whole scene with her and Allie and AJ.
Yeah, what did you think of AJ / Logan's plan to get rid of Logan / AJ?
It was again, I watch things happen on the show. I'm like, oh, this is genius. This is brilliant. And AJ tells us in Confessional, he's like, listen, I know exactly how to talk to people. Like it's gonna be so smooth. And he's like, and I'm gonna trust Allie, my ally.
Yeah.
It's Allie, but it's spelled ally.
Yeah. English language is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have this ally, and I'm going to tell her, like, hey, I've got a big plan tonight. If I do something cheeky tonight, are you down? She's like, whatever you do. I'm so in. I'm so in on the plan. I'm like, okay, this is great. And I'm like, wow, this is like very coy because he has plausible deniability. And I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. This is give him all the Chissy points. He's doing perfect. And then she goes back and tells everybody, like, oh boy, he's got this great plan. It's gonna be rich tonight. Like, oh, that's not the plan. That's not what has in store. And you and Mike were talking about this. It was so great. It was a Three's Company episode, and I loved it so much.
Yeah, it was an idiot plot.
It was so wonderful. But then when it gets back to Logan, L to the OG.
L to the OG.
Yeah. She's like, oh, well, that's it. Now he's dead to me.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, there's not enough time to change the plan.
No,
and I was like, well, sorry. Okay, Kent is safe. And I was like thrilled that like, okay, well, Kent lives to see another day. As much as I liked AJ. But sadly to say, no, there was not enough time.
Well, I can only apologize that we're now going into our 5th hour of content of this week and we haven't been singing the Logan song, which is now going to be in my head forever, even though we don't know exactly who Logan is. So as you just stated, yes, he tried to come for Logan. He couldn't. He failed at that because she's so powerful. Is that not worthy of Chissy points? Criticizing those Chissy points when it makes so much sense?
So wait, who should get Chissy points for that?
Logan, the woman.
For what? For
the fact that when you try to come for her, everyone's like, over my dead body, I'd rather die because I love her.
I guess so. Like she didn't get AJ out.
Yeah, who cares? They're okay.
Yeah,
they're fine. I mean, I think AJ would have been better because I was thinking about Mike and I spoke about this. You might not have got there because there's so much content. Mike and I were saying,
did. That's right, because it wasn't that zippy.
It was zippy.
I wanted to.
It was zippy enough. Okay, maybe the way we define zippy is different here in Australia.
Yeah, in fact, I think it was the least zippy of the week.
Yeah, because it was with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
who I love.
I love Mike more than anything in this world. I'm just saying that we can't do zippy.
But I think you should be able to hold your Chissy points back. Of can I pocket some? These people will come back next week. Like, can I save a couple of these Chissy points for next week?
Logan was great. Okay, I was thinking about this with AJ because we're talking about getting AJ out soon, and I was thinking about when
she was fine. She was fine. I don't think she was great.
No, she was great. People love her. That's what you want to do in the first week. You want people to love you. Allie,
yeah, but I think it was more of she was great on like a 1 Chissy point scale.
Who would?
Like,
okay.
I don't know.
My first
but you're
thing
saying
is,
you have to give 3 to people. Like, well, what if there was no 3 Chissy point moves this week?
Is a Chissy a new concept to you? I've been doing this for 7 years.
I just think maybe at the end of the week, it's like, okay, well, that was a great move.
Do you think people are enjoying us bickering like an old married couple for an hour?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to bring something to this. I hope that people think it's a lively podcast.
It's definitely lively. Again, my cat got up 50 minutes ago and has not come back. And that's because she now can tell I'm on edge. She's like, what's wrong? Okay. Firstly, who would you have given your Chissy points to this week? Who do you think was really worthwhile?
And I can't pocket any. I can't keep any for Survivor 48.
For 7 years. Yeah. 7 years of this. So who stands out to you? Who's the best? Who played the best this week?
Who is the best?
Are you trying to think of who's in the cast?
Yes.
Noonan, Paulie. I'm giving it Laura, all the women, Logan. These are all the good people, but it feels like there's no one else you can give it to. You're going to give it to Nash.
I don't have an issue with Noonan.
Okay, Noonan got 1 point in the league.
Maybe should have got more.
Okay, probably. She clocks Paulie looking for the idol.
Yeah, she seems like she's, building something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but she lost the vote. She didn't vote correctly in this whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just don't. I don't.
That's not her fault.
I think this was more about the people that were playing poorly than people
that
were
was
playing
my
great.
point.
Yeah,
that was my point about the negative energy.
I just feel like that. I would say that some people didn't deserve that many Chissy points this week. This was an artificially inflated Chissy stat after week 1.
That's literally just the format of the Chissy.
I'm surprised that you wanted to do this because I feel like that at the end of the season, throw all the stats out the window. Somebody's going to walk away with 107 Chissy points at the end of the season.
Yeah, maybe 3 people will. And we'll have to send out 3 mugs again. And you know what we need for that? We need Kent's money to be backing how many mugs we're going to have to be sending out through the Chissy every season.
Yeah.
Do you know that we did that? We sent out 3 mugs for 47.
I did know that. Won. Yes.
Yeah. So we
I had to sign off on that. Yes.
Yeah. And were you happy about it? Or were you like, is this more trouble than it's worth?
No, I was. I mean, look, if the if a bunch of Survivor players that are famous want to, hold up Chissy mugs and be proud of winning an award, I'm going to sign off on that.
Thanks.
That's just how I work in my business.
Yeah. Nice. That's the kind of business that can make money for any investor who may or may not be listening, who may or may not have been voted out of Survivor last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And I'll make Nash head of sales also.
Well, that would be, I think, a poor decision.
For merch. Nash, if you're listening, we need you.
You need his number.
Mm-hmm.
You've added him to your crew. So I think, yeah. Well, okay. So and AJ, do you think he's out the door next? Are those are the next boots? Nash probably and AJ.
I mean, are all the women going to be on board with that? I mean, I kind of feel like that. I feel like that what you're saying about Logan, like I think we could kind of say about AJ too. Like when Logan, I mean, you don't think that that AJ to some degree is beloved enough to when? Then why didn't he get voted out? Because Nash is, that Kent is such a problem.
I think it was probably too late in the day.
Okay, well he was. Then, if he was not beloved, they could have just said easily, all right, hey, Coven, let's go. Activate witch powers. I
think it was just like sticking their neck out a little bit when there was already a plan. And I feel like obviously Kent had his own issues he was bringing. Whereas AJ, I think is a threat, but I don't know who's protecting him. Like Kaylin likes him, Miles likes him, but other than that, Rich, I think would throw him under the bus. Bax would.
I feel like that AJ, that he definitely misstepped by talking to Allie, but I thought he was like perfectly respectful to Allie about that he brought it up. And he said the name to the wrong person, and many survivors have been voted out for less. But I don't think it's a death sentence necessarily for him where Logan, I think there's an equal chance that Logan ends up getting herself voted out by really driving this wedge into the group.
I completely disagree. There are not the numbers there that will ever vote for Logan. These women are fine. I'm telling you. These women, because it's a 5-5 next up, but Rich was already kind of maybe we do it. Rich is, to be fair to Laura, who's advocating for Rich a lot, in her pocket. I think the issue with Rich is he might, again, unintentionally out the VBs or...
AJ is the one person that's like, hey guys, hey idiots, wake up. The women are working together.
Way too late though. Now they're literally at a 5-5. If he had the power on a 5-5,
well, why is it too late at 5-5? It's not 5-4.
They're going to rocks. Are they going to rocks?
I don't know.
I think it's a 5-5, but it's not even because I think Max is with the women. I think Rich will go with the women, and I don't know that they have enough, and I don't think that they're going to go.
It's certainly possible. I just don't think it's 100%.
I think AJ's gone. I think AJ and Nash are the next two out the door, assuming those two tribes go to tribal council. I really think so. And I think it's unfortunate because I really like AJ especially.
Yeah, I liked AJ a lot. He got a package.
There. Yeah, exactly. And that's how you know to care, except a few of these people got a package and you don't know who they are.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, Logan got a package too.
Yeah, so now you have to care. But I think that with AJ, it was just a really tough spot. He was in a position where he was like, when are we going to swap? 2 seasons ago, they swapped late, I was actually remembering. They swapped in episode 9. Yeah. So he's not making it to that. If he leaves himself on the bottom, he's not making it to that. Or so does he try hang on and hope they swap in episode 7 like they did last time, hope he wins immunities, or does he take the game in his hands?
Don't forget, this is Australian Survivor. We're due for a non-elimination episode. What, next week, you think?
That is true. When there's a non-elim, that is a good point.
Especially Zen.
A week 2 non-elim. That's a very good point. You are. You said you were out of touch and old and stupid. Was that me? I take it back.
So probably only 2 people will go home next week, especially with Zen being eliminated, medevac so early. I thought that was really... I didn't love it when I saw that Zen talked about his hand hurting. I'm like, oh, that's not good. This is not good. And then they let him come out with the cast. I'm like, oh, great, Zen's back. And they're like, hey, bad news, everybody. I'm out.
Yeah. How much you blame the show for this? Because some people were angry in my DMs this morning.
I didn't even see how he got hurt. What was the issue?
He was wrestling with Kaylin, and he got, I think, stuck in the net and it bent back. I think it was a freak accident. To be fair, the show has done some things wrong in the challenges before. Okay, there are other lawsuits that might have a little bit more credibility, but Zen and this didn't feel like their fault. I felt like this was just wrestling something.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, can I just be say something for the fans? Okay. Hey, stop suing Australian Survivor. We got a nice thing. Australian Survivor. It's different than American Survivor. Stop suing them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Did you like Zen, though?
Yeah, he was fine. Good looking guy. Seemed like a fun personality, fun name. I liked when Kent asked him if who he voted for, and then he doubled back and instantly changed his answer.
Yeah.
Okay, I did vote for you.
Nash did, yeah. I think
Sorry, Nash.
yes, the big personalities. I think
Big personalities.
you are right though. I'm thinking about this now. There will probably be a week 2
Oh.
There was the
And
Kelly
will you
vote.
give out Chissy points in the non-elimination episode?
Yes, I will. I gave out Chissy points in the Hourglass episode of 41, okay? So
have you thought about maybe that if you're giving out daily Chissy points, maybe give out 1 and 2 and maybe not 1, 2, and 3.
It's staying the same, Rob. Do not mess with my Chissy.
I just said, well, I'm trying to protect the Chissy. You are flooding the Chissy economy that you're just printing cash machine go burr. All the extra Chissy points the Chissy points are meaningless now.
It's episodic. It's episodic Chissy points. That's what we do in US Survivor. That's what we do in South African Survivor.
Like, but at the end of the week, you gave out 6. It's like maybe give out 2 a day.
Firstly, we didn't give out 6. We gave out
3, 2, 1.
Right, it was 6 each. Right.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Yes. But okay, no, I'm not changing it. Sorry.
Okay.
No, Rob, don't mess with my formula.
You're messing with your formula. I'm protecting your formula.
People are gonna come for me. They're gonna say I talk too fast and that the Chissy is wrong, and I'm not gonna like any of that. So
I have no problem that you talk fast.
Thank you. Okay, I thought. So what do we think? So next week there'll be a non-elim, probably episode 5.
I think so. That's what I would call.
I think Nash and AJ.
Sorry for you, Puya. Good luck giving out 6 Chissy points on a non-elimination episode.
People do social work.
Can you do the old school, like fishy, like, I'm going to give 2 Chissy points to production?
No, I hate that. That's a cop-out. That's terrible. It's fine. This is good. The episodic recaps are doing really well. People are liking it. You're the only one not liking it.
I advocated for it. I said, hey, why don't you do it every day? I just said it should be like a little zippy, like 20 minutes.
I feel bad.
Like a little check-in.
So riled up. You're so angry at me.
I'm not angry.
Okay, good. I couldn't tell from all the yelling. I thought maybe you would be.
I've not yelled once.
Yeah. I think that my cat left. Okay, whatever. That was on me. She can't hear you. I think Nash is going to go. I think AJ is going to go. And I think there's going to be a non-elim.
I think that those would be the chalk picks too. I've just been watching Australian Survivor long enough to know to expect the unexpected. People are going to, there's always a spanner in the works, they say, Shannon.
Yeah, that would be a shame for AJ because then he could have got through like a rich boot.
Yeah.
And then even like a later swap, like a Miles boot, but he like wanted to flip it because he was like probably next after that. And now he's probably out. Next,
I will say that probably one of those 2 ends up going out next week, but probably not both. There's probably, you think it's going to be very chalky?
I think they're both gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, look, other things have happened. That I think that's the obvious thing. I just think the women have so much control. AJ's really put himself on their list. I think the men will flip on him easily. Well, Rich and Max will. I think with Nash, like he has nothing to protect him, and he's screwing up the challenges. And I think it could be like near unanimous with some split votes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
that'll be a kind of boring week. That's exactly.
Yeah, it's usually not that straightforward.
Yeah, that's what I think will happen.
Have some faith in the product.
Yeah, how they change it up, but.
Because in the Brains tribe, right? That are there any idols in play? Does anybody have an idol in the Brains tribe?
No, we haven't seen anything.
Okay,
so AJ needs an idol.
AJ needs an idol
really badly. And then otherwise, I think he's kind of doomed. Should we ask some feedback questions on this? Feedback
please.
Yeah, this is a good one. Lucy Hamilton asked, if you could cast these players to do a cameo in White Lotus, who would it be?
Who would be in the White Lotus? Okay. All right. Well,
I've got a good one.
They have an acronym for. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it.
What?
No, I can't.
No,
I can't risk some of these deals we're working on.
No, tell me. I want to know.
No, we got to talk. Okay, who would be a great character?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Nash would be great on the White Lotus.
No, what? No, Nash isn't. No, that's not right.
Why not?
I've never seen anyone like Nash on the White Lotus.
That's why he would be great.
No.
Why?
Have
Who do you
watched
want?
The White Lotus?
Who would you put?
Rich is every toxic boyfriend they've ever put on the White Lotus.
Rich
He already
is
is
every toxic boyfriend. Okay. You need some, you know who would be, like, we need some hot guys. Okay.
Exactly.
Zen
So
could
many.
go to the White Lotus.
All of these buff guys. Kalen's like the guy who's like the hot pool boy who like
Hot pool boy, Kalen.
Yeah. Pool boy.
Let me
Rich
see.
is a toxic boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who else? Kent would be there. Kent is like the kind of like crazy dad. A lot of these people fit in. A lot of these people fit in.
Okay.
Logan,
Rich is a director
maybe?
also.
Yeah. You just learned that?
No, I'm saying he could be on the set.
Oh, right. Yeah, but he doesn't need a director. We already have a director. What did Mike White do to you? You're trying to get his spot blown up too?
No, he could.
And
Maybe
Rich
he
can
could
do
give
it?
some feedback.
Oh, that would be terrible. I don't think Mike White needs or wants his feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think a lot of these people fit in.
I thought this was the feedback show.
I think Paulie could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he'd have fun on the White Lotus. Who else? I think that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Any of the women? I think Logan could be there. She's a wag. So
Logan,
kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. That was, I think.
Zara.
Zara's perfect. I forgot about her because she said no convention. She literally would be on the White Lotus. That's like, you don't know anything about her, but she's like designer clothes and she's always traveling.
Mm-hmm.
She's married to Kent in this universe and they're the family. Wow. And then their kids are like Kaylin.
Miles.
Miles is the nerdy,
Miles would be a good kid on the White Lotus.
And then who's the daughter? Like Noonan, maybe? Is she always
Noonan? No.
No, not Noonan.
Candy would be a good daughter.
What about like Kate?
Kate? Maybe.
We have to change the ages around and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of this cast would actually fit in really well on the White Lotus. Yeah. Great question. Great feedback question. Rancy says, what would yourself and Rob rename both of these tribes as based on the first week? A lot of people think the Brains tribe should lose their tribe name.
Why?
They don't think they're very brainy.
Listen. Who said this?
Rancy.
Do you know the history of the Brains tribe on Survivor?
That's true. That is true.
It never goes well.
Yeah.
They're perfect Brains
Haley,
tribe.
But it wasn't a great. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I think, what did Cass say? That they were zombies?
Yep.
Needed brains.
Brain dead, yeah.
Yeah, brain dead, yeah. What about the Brawn tribe? Have they been very brawny?
Not especially.
Yeah, they lose a lot of the brawn parts to brains. I would rename brains brawn, probably. And brawn can just be other. The war. Brawn v other.
Brawn v other. For 2 years, the brawn and the other have been feuding. Yeah,
it's a war. Okay, Emperor of Chocolate. As someone who's a very old school player.
Your Highness.
Yeah. He's curious, what would you rather have flint to start your campfire with, or already have fire, but then you have to maintain it, you have no flint, because you're such an old school player that played so long ago. I just want to know, like, what you think from a survival aspect, when people were still surviving.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is like the, do I want the giant tuna or the fishing equipment? I think I would have picked the giant tuna, by the way.
What? Terrible take.
You
can't eat it tomorrow. Eat for one day.
I might not be on this tribe tomorrow. I might get swapped.
Do you even know the proverb? It's literally the proverb. It's a whole thing.
Okay. That being said, I wouldn't have fought. I mean, that was a giant fish. I wouldn't have.
It's gonna go off at a point.
Yeah. Because these, I kind of felt like, was it Rich that was arguing for it? Like, these little fish, like good luck. How many of those are you going to catch a day?
And then Kaylin immediately did.
Yeah. Okay. How many did he catch though?
I don't know, but he'll keep catching. That's the point.
You would think.
Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a life.
Yeah. So I would say I would rather have the flint, because I feel like that, that you have a torrential downpour and then, now you can't get the fire going.
And like, in a tribe of 12, someone can make a fire, right? So if you have flint, you have fire.
The flint, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's different to I think it's different to the fishing equipment, because you might not catch that many fish. And it's also like about volume. Like you might catch a little bit, but not a lot. Whereas like fire is like one material item. So it's like you can probably make the fire more likely than you can of catching fish. And you're more likely to even do that compared to catching fish. So like, yeah, choose fire that you can maintain, or that you can keep maintaining, rather than like one fire that will probably be burnt out.
Yeah. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't know who cares about this in terms of, making it a part of the show.
I can tell you who plays. I can tell you who cares. The players.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I went to a viewing party and like the players are like, they get fire. It's like, yeah, the viewers don't care.
My God.
We get fire. Oh my
we
God.
didn't get anything.
You were a player too, but I'm just maybe not like them. Players
But
care so much about that and no one else cares. Like,
I don't complain about dumb stuff like that.
Yeah,
I complain about the important things.
Yeah, like what?
Like inflation in the fishy market.
The
Chissy market, whatever.
The fishy market was the reward.
I complain about inflation in the fishy market too, whereas Steven's like, oh, just give Rome a fishy too. Whatever, who cares?
Yeah. I'm glad you're not like that. It's true. It is true. Because the players think other people care. I think they care.
What? They threw a challenge? I never threw a challenge. They should go home automatically.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't get that. People.
They got a fishing lure in their kit. We didn't have a fishing lure in our fishing kit.
Like people have said, and they're not right, that I'm like the biggest Survivor fan on the planet, right? And like I really don't care about this at all. So like, yeah. If I don't care, I care about a lot of things. Clearly, not that. Okay, Matt Benjamin says, "How are you feeling about your winner pick? Who was Jesse? Could you pick Jesse out of a lineup?"
No, I could not. Is Jesse a boy or a girl?
Boy.
Okay.
The skater, Sam. Get these people up on screen. We're gonna look at the cast.
Jesse. Let me go. I'm like, okay, I'm looking on the wiki. Jesse.
Sam's gonna get it for us. Okay.
The pro skater. Yeah. Oh yeah. JLP. JLP was really like, oh, he's a pro skater.
Yeah. How am I feeling about Jesse? He got, I think, 5 confessionals in the first episode and then none, which is fine. Like Haley,
he's
I think, got
by.
Yeah, exactly. And Haley, I think, got 4 and then a couple of zeros. So from an edit perspective, Sam says he's not getting up the pictures.
It's fine.
Okay, well, you'll never know who Jesse is. Okay, but
he had no intro package. He doesn't get a picture.
Did I think? Did he not get an intro? Did he not get an intro package? Because that would be bad. But he still might. Okay, whatever. Matt asked, if you were to be a big cheater and choose a new winner pick now, who would it be? I wouldn't go back. I think Jesse's fine, but no, I wouldn't. I think Laura might be where I go from an edit perspective and from like a game perspective.
Yeah.
Who was your winner pick, Rob? That doesn't count.
Okay. Do I get to do a winner pick? I think I picked Mark last year. I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah,
that was pretty far.
Top 3. That was great.
Almost got there. I will go with a winner pick of, I'll say, woman Noonan.
Yeah. Jesse is the other Noonan.
Yes.
But there's 2 Noonans.
Yeah, I heard you talking about the other Noonan. I didn't know who the other Noonan was.
Yeah, it's a really funny secret scene because like Noonan's entire thing is that she's insecure about not being like the well-known Noonan. So she's like, I'm the survivor Noonan, but then they put Jesse Noonan on the tribe and she's
just to troll her.
Yeah, she's like, God damn it. And then she's like, maybe I'll vote him out, even though I really like him. And I was like, this happened to you.
Yeah.
This happened to you, right?
Sure.
2 Robs? Only big enough for one of us, the island?
I guess so. I mean, listen, Boss Rob hates other Robs and Bobs.
Yeah. I think that Noonan's a very good pick.
Yeah.
Noonan's a narrator of Brawn. Noonan's in a good spot. Maybe Noonan was better than Laura now. Maybe I changed Noonan.
Paulie would be a good pick too.
Paulie's a good pick.
But I don't want to just be a front runner because he's the idol.
Yeah, Paulie, Noonan's a good. Laura's good.
They had packages. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know who Karen is though, which is crazy because she had 9 confessionals in the second episode.
Did you get a package?
Yeah.
What was it about?
She's a doctor. Okay. I think she had a package.
Can't I watched Australian Survivor if you didn't get an intro package.
Of course. But the thing is, I actually think someone told me who has the packages, but I have to find where of the much feedback we got where it is. But I think I watched so much pregame stuff, which is also just like their package, but pregame, that I like don't remember what was on TV and what was on the thing. Okay, here we go. Dob Walk. Yes. Says we got 11 players out of the game clip, so the package in episode 1, another 2 in episode 2, and 3 in episode 3. So just put it all together. So 11 plus 2 is 13. So 16. So we've got 16
Wow, that's
of,
pretty good.
of 24. Yeah. So we're 2/3 of the way there. So we saw Ben, Paulie, Kristen, and Jesse outside the game in the opening montage. Oh, so Jesse didn't get a full package. Oh, that's very
opening
bad.
montage. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Montaging it doesn't count. And Paulie, but Paulie did actually get a package.
Okay.
So maybe this is Paulie got that he's a.
They probably had like cool skateboarding shots.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that he's saying that the only 5 players who don't have a package, although he's counting the montage. So Ben doesn't count. Kristen doesn't count. Then Candy didn't get. Zara hasn't got. Petey hasn't got. Kate and Allie. So yeah, none of those people are winning.
Show. Yeah.
None of those people. Is Kate and Allie a real show?
Yeah, it used to be a 80s sitcom.
No. This is a lot. Don't show your age.
Susan
Rob.
St. James.
Keep moving. Just keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
You're not Mr. Rob yet. So yeah, I don't know. I can't really work out what this is trying to say, but clearly there are some people without. But Paulie did get a package.
Yeah.
Anyway, none of those people are winning.
Oh, and Jane Curtin, more famous. Yeah.
What if they get a package in episode 4?
It could happen.
Can they still win if they get a package in episode 4?
A little late in the game. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I remember like Benji didn't get a confessional until I want to say, was it either episode 7 or he got 0 confessionals for 7 episodes and then he was like the main character of that season. But he didn't win. Yeah, well, I don't feel great about Jesse if he didn't get a package. Oh dear.
Yep.
Watching it. Okay, Josh Kettles has an Aussie slang question.
Hey, Josh. Yes.
Rich called Candy a pocket rocket on the episode 2 Matt chat. Apparently, that's Aussie slang for a small woman. Can you verify that and explain it? If it
I
has
thought he
negative
called the idol. I thought he was talking about the Nash's idol was the pocket rocket.
That would make sense. Idols kind of are pocket rockets.
I don't think he could. Like, look, that my context was like, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'm gonna call idols pocket rockets from now on.
Maybe you should. I have a few things here. The first is I didn't realize pocket rocket was Australian. This happens all the time. So you don't have pocket rocket?
Well, what are pocket rockets for you?
Short people. I think mostly short women who are like firecrackers. Like she's a real pocket rocket, and it's not negative, I would say. I think it's more like it actually can be very positive. Like, look at her. She's short, but she's got a lot of like charisma. So I wouldn't say it's negative at all.
I have not ever heard it referred to as a person. Yeah.
So no, I can't believe you guys don't have that. But pocket rocket is a great little term for an idol. That's wonderful. That's what we're calling it from now on. I love that. Yeah. That's great. What other Australian slang issues did you have? So you didn't know what VB is. You guys don't have VB beer, which the beer drinkers are saying, by the way, is terrible. Apparently.
Yeah. I heard you've never had any beer.
I don't like beer. I might have sipped a beer one time and thought, never again.
Wow.
I don't like beer. It's disgusting.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no way anyone likes it. It's so gross.
People like it, you know.
How?
I don't know.
I don't. You like beer?
People have unique tastes.
Do you drink beer?
I'm not I mean, look, I'm not like the Golden God and could drink 10 beers in one sitting.
I did try the Golden God beer that he mailed me once. You know, he had his own beer with his face on it, and he mailed me a couple, and I had a sip. I didn't like it. Not because of the Golden God. I don't like beer. Yeah. But that sat in our fridge for a long time. I think till we kind of moved from that apartment. You didn't have VB. Was there any other Australian slang that confused you this week? Not
that I heard, but maybe if it came up in a different way.
There was Indy said that you can't buy her vote for $20 like it's on a St Kilda street corner, but I think that might have been pretty
I don't think that's Australian slang. I got that.
The context clues?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of what area St Kilda might have a reputation for being.
Yeah. No, I picked that up. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, pocket rocket idols. I love that we've gained that. Okay, last question. Tristan Fernell says Shannon has described key characters as sparkly people early on in a season who had main character energy, like Ferris, Haley, and George. Haley and Ferris. Like George is a lot. Like George is extreme. I don't know if I'd say sparkly person. He's definitely made to be on television. Who are the sparkly people in the first 3 episodes that feel like they are in for the long game? I'm really glad this question was asked because I wanted to clarify things about the sparkly person, which is actually good right before next week's draft, right? Because I saw a thread in the Patreon group talking about the sparkly person concept that I came up with.
What does it mean to you?
Everyone had it wrong, so I'm really glad to clarify.
Yes.
People are like, a sparkly person is someone who makes you feel like this when they talk to you. None of that. A sparkly person it's not something you can do. It's not something you can learn. It's not an action. Think of it as like if you're dating someone and they're really nice to you. That's great, but it's not a spark. If you like someone because they like get you flowers, it's lovely. That's not a spark. A spark cannot be defined. It cannot be learned. It cannot be quantified. A sparkly person just has it. They just have it. It's not based on anything they're doing. It's just who they are as a human being. You've met like a Marianne, sparkly. That's the point of a sparkly person. Any questions?
Yes. I'm
How
more
dare
confused
you?
than before you started. So,
What?
so it's not but when you said, okay, it's not that a person makes you feel a certain way. It's just they are a
No, no,
certain
no.
way.
Yes, but they can make you feel a certain way. But my point is, it's not that they do something to make you feel a certain way. It's not like, wow, I really feel heard when I talk to you. That's something they're doing. That's the social game. But a
Mhm.
sparkle is just a quality. It's just who you
Can
are
you
as a human being.
uh, list more sparkly people?
Yeah, a lot of the winners.
Mm-hmm.
Haley,
Okay.
Ferris, Caleb's sparkle chart. Caleb's a good, really good example. Even though he didn't win, he had too much sparkle. Michelle, people talk about as a sparkly person. You know what? Like, you know, understand
Mm-hmm.
sparkle? Just like they have it. They are
Yeah.
just they glow. Sparkle. Nothing they're doing specifically. Why are they sparkly? Just because. There's like a
Mm-hmm.
little aura around them that Laura can probably see.
Mm-hmm.
Sparkle.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
I
maybe
think
that's
I
my
understood it more
witch
before
power.
your definition and when you had to like really define it because I feel like that's what I thought it was before you started, but then you just said a bunch of things about what it's not.
Because a lot of people got it wrong and they were like, oh, it's because they do these social things. It's like, it's nothing you do. It's nothing you could learn. You can't start being a better listener or being nicer to people and be sparkly. You just are or you aren't. I think my witch power, like Laura, she sees colors, I see sparkle. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
makes you a sparkly person. It's very much an aura. What is
Okay.
confusing about this? I think it makes so much sense.
Yeah, I think I got it, but when
Well, other people didn't.
just from sparkly person, but then when you put
Yeah.
so many like definitions around it, I'm like,
No,
eh.
I don't think so. I think it makes sense. Who do you think is sparkly in this season?
From this season, besides Nash and
Lash isn't a
Kent,
sparkly person.
they sparkle on
Kent,
my television.
that's not. No, see, you don't get it. That's my point. Is you don't get it. A sparkly person is like Logan. Clearly, people love Logan. Sparkly, I'm
Not
sure.
AJ.
AJ did like Logan. He was scared of her because she was so likable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't
I
know.
think like
I
a
don't know
Paulie might be sparkly.
who?
Paulie.
Pauly, I can see it a little bit. I feel like that there's not one person that's really popping like in a positive way. I think
That's
that this
my
week has
point.
probably been a little bit more about people who are playing poorly, but I do think that we'll have to wait and see. I don't think there's anybody that's like the overwhelming. And
Yeah.
I do know what you mean. I do feel like that they do sparkle because of some of the things that they do. I feel like I disagree with you a little bit about that. It is because of things that they do, and it's not just who they are.
I think maybe if you're a sparkly person, maybe you're more likely to do those things and make people feel a certain type of way. But I think if you don't have it and you don't have the sparkle, you can do as many social tactics as you want, but yet
Mm-hmm.
won't ever make you a sparkly person. Like you're in or you're out, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Does that make sense? It really does.
Yes, sure.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sparkly, there's nothing you can do that will make you a sparkly. But like, and it's fine. Most people aren't sparkly people. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying. Do you understand what I mean?
I thought I
It
thought I
can't be
did.
learned. It can't
Yeah.
be taught.
Yeah.
How much of what I've said in this podcast have you like kept up with?
I think for the most part, I mean, listen, hard to miss what you're saying about Morgan and Kate.
Hard to visit.
I don't think anybody is coming away from this podcast confused about how you feel about that.
Yes. I don't know what they were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I think I got the rest of it.
Yeah, split votes.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of split votes.
Yeah.
What about the fact that if AJ got the guys together on like a Karen and the girls voted for Kent and Kent
Yeah,
voted
you
for
and Mike
Marvel,
were talking, that was a little bit where I wasn't listening at 0.5x and I needed a pad and a pen
Why?
to write that down.
551.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. and then it's.
I'm a
Kent
visual learner. I
Lewis
think
and
that one
five
I would have
guys
needed to look at
slid on
the vote chart on that one.
Well, it makes sense. I think
Mhm.
I think this all made a lot of sense. Did
Yeah.
people enjoy it? Don't let us know.
Yeah.
Don't tell us.
Okay. Well,
But
I think we're off
subscribe.
to a great start for Australian Survivor.
And for the podcast?
Yeah, I think I think it's great to have the daily podcast. I just
I've
think
loved it.
I guess I'm coming in as the person who is the feedback show person.
Yes.
And probably your guest is going to be some Australian Survivor person that's never going to even listen to any of the recaps you did during the week.
I think my guest next week might.
I'm coming in as the person that's like, hey, did they leave anything for me to talk about?
Okay. I just want to stop for one single second. Just one little second. One episode of US Survivor a week. Now 60 minutes of airtime, used to be 40. Yep. How many podcasts a week do you personally do about it? About 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
How many?
Know-it-alls? What's 40 minutes?
Survivor US.
No, Shannon,
40,
90-minute episodes.
Now it's 60 minutes. Now it's 60 minutes without ads. How many podcasts you do it? You do know-it-alls. You do a recap.
Yep.
You do Club Condo.
Yep.
You do stuff with the patrons. What am I missing?
How
many hours of content do you do on US Survivor compared to what I'm doing on 4 hours of Australian Survivor content?
But I didn't.
Oh,
I don't have guests on that listen to all.
I got you so hard. Oh my God, you're such a hypocrite. You
all right, you know
my
what?
last house. And I was like, nah, I want a podcast.
That when you do Shannon's performance evaluation, we'll talk about that.
You of all people,
insubordination.
You like, oh, you talk so much about Survivor. What could be left for anyone else? Wow, hypocrisy. Thy name is Rob.
Well, now I'm seeing the error of my ways as I'm coming in as the guest.
That's so mean, firstly. And secondly, did I just get all of your podcasts canceled? Or you're like, okay, we're just straight doing know-it-alls from now on?
Maybe that's it. Maybe we'll just do one. Okay. Be like, hey, why did we stop doing it? Like, well, Shannon's
pointed
convinced
out your
me.
own hypocrisy. This has been great. Tell
that's
the
why
listeners
Steven doesn't like to do the know-it-alls on Thursday because he says that all the takes are used up.
And that's one of the reasons I'm loving these episodic recaps. I love just being able to give my thoughts immediately. I'm really enjoying it. Rob, tell the listeners you're joking and you think I'm really good and you're really proud of me and you're my dad. So I just want you to
I'm your dad.
You're my podcast dad.
Yeah.
My pod dad. I have a really good other dad.
Your real dad is older than me, right?
A lot older than you.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
How old do you think I
am? I remember your 40th. When was that? I think you're like 42.
Yeah, about that. You're right in the ballpark. Yeah.
When was that? My dad could be your dad. My point is that I just want you to be proud of me and to like what I'm doing. You know, I don't want you to be mad at me. I think what you're
doing is great. My only feedback was that it's a lot to keep up with for every single day for people.
It's not. People are enjoying it. Secondly, I think I understand what happened. I think I get it. I think I know what happened. When I brought you on for the feedback show, I meant feedback about Australian Survivor, not about what I'm doing.
Okay, because I was on the Survivor
it's
AU
not a
feedback show.
Review. No.
I thought I was here to give feedback on the podcast.
I understand. That's why you barely watched the show and just came into criticize.
Sam, why did you tell me that I was here to give feedback?
Yeah, so that's why everyone listened to an hour and a half of your thoughts on how I'm doing, but you don't know who like Karen is, who's a pretty main character on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Sam has replied. He says Shannon needs the feedback. I'm gonna go cry after this podcast for real.
Don't cry, Shannon. You do an incredible job. Everybody knows it. Nobody else can do what you do.
Yeah. That's true. Clearly, I would choose the fishing gear, given how much I just fished for those compliments after an hour and a half of being berated by the person I respect most.
Everybody knows that I think that you do such an incredible job with it. You've done so much with this. You took this torch from the great Nick Idanza, and look what you've turned this into.
Well, that's a great segue because Nick is my guest for the feedback show next week. But given listening to this, he might not.
And Nick will come in with plenty of great takes. So that absolutely.
Yeah. This was good. This was an acquired.
If anything was bad about this, it was all because of me.
No, I think we both had our share. I think that if you liked this, you liked it. And if you didn't, you're not here anymore. Or if you are, you made a mistake. If you liked this, you really enjoyed it.
Look, I'm here. I'm here
right.
talking about Australian Survivor. I feel like that Shannon has just done such a great job of covering it all week long with great experts like Chappelle and Puya and Mike Bloom that I can come in here and be a little punchy and just have a little fun.
Very much. Yeah, very punchy.
And I can be a little bit looser about Australian Survivor than I can be about Survivor 48, where I feel like that the people who are on the show are all listening and not going to be happy when I see them in person if I'm saying, who is this person? They have no edit.
Yeah. Well, US Survivors are usually a little better. But I think that seeing those confessional charts from Eggplant Man, what was his name?
Medium Eggplant, 4547.
Thank you so much for your work. This is very good. 2 people with 0 confessionals is like unheard of. So we're off to a good start.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's been a fun week, and I'm gonna decompress from all of this. And I think this was Zippy.
Yeah.
I know Sam wants us to get off the podcast right now.
Well,
I know Sam's like, wrap it up.
It's your show.
No, it's fine. We'll wrap it up. Rob, what's coming up for you?
Well, listen, we've got so much going on RHAP, but that U.S. Survivor is going to be back next week.
I know.
And we've got some big announcements coming up on how we're going to be handling Survivor 48. And so maybe it's going to be one podcast a week. Stay tuned for that. Of course, we'll be back with Shannon and the drafters coming up on Monday night. See if Shannon can identify another sparkly person.
Yes.
Did you see a sparkly person got named to be the host of On Fire, the official Survivor podcast?
I know. Amazing for Rachel.
Which put out an episode today that was called There Can Only Be One Survivor (podcast). Like, what? Why would you say that?
Wait, is that what it was called?
Yes.
Oh, there can only be one Survivor. It didn't say podcast.
It does. Look it up. Like,
no.
Why
they don't. I don't think we get On Fire in Australia.
You even like me at all? Why are you being like this?
Wait, what? So that was like a massive drive-by on you.
Why did they say that?
That's not what they called it. Where do I find this?
Go wherever podcasts are heard. Right after you subscribe to WeKnowGlobalSurvivor.com.
What a drive-by on you. I'm sure Rachel had nothing to do
You
with
can't
that.
listen to On Fire in Australia?
I don't think so. We used to not be able to. I gave up.
What? They geo-blocked the podcast? I've never even heard of that for a podcast.
Yeah, I don't think we have it here. I think maybe you could get it on YouTube or let me try find it on Spotify. Is it on Spotify in the US?
I mean, I believe so. Wherever podcasts are heard.
No, I'm not getting On Fire. I'm getting Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys.
Oh.
I'm getting Bruce Springsteen. I'm getting Kings of Leon, Sex on Fire. But I'm not getting On Fire. Is it On Fire with Jeff Probst?
It is. And it's the only official Survivor podcast. But now they said that there can only be one Survivor podcast.
Maybe we do get it. If we get it, it's very difficult. Like,
we've got Deal or No Deal Island. The Golden God is there. We've got the Traders. We've got everything else going on RHAP. They keep me very busy talking about all this reality TV. But listen, it's a great business. Kent, let's talk. And Nash, head of sales, is open.
Yeah.
We have plenty of merch to sell. We have ad slots.
Chissy shirts.
These are the minds that I need behind the scenes at Rob is a Podcast. Nash and Kent, could you imagine them together on one team? Who's stopping us?
Yeah, imagine them. The world
there
would
could
explode.
only be one Survivor podcast? I don't think so.
I also hear that there's a spot going for your global Survivor host on the network. So they can probably take over that.
Well, that's only if the Shannon people don't subscribe to the podcast.
I'm ending the podcast. I'm done.
You're ending it?
Please subscribe. Yeah, we're done, right? You gave the plugs. People are gonna subscribe.
You're gonna turn off.
Oh, just I meant this one. Yeah.
Yeah, Shannon has the controls. I'm just like
no.
What?
Oh, ending the whole podcast like over my dead body.
Okay, good. That's what I thought you were saying. But yeah. I don't have any controls here. Shannon has all the controls to the recording.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm just saying you have to claw this podcast out of my like cold dead hands.
Okay. All right. And Jen, what's coming up for you?
Oh, just this. Every week I'm here with Chappelle and Puya and Mike, and we talk and we give out Chissy points, and it's Zippy, and it's perfect for your commute because if you have like a 30-minute commute,
Just be
then
honest,
there
though.
and
It's
back.
not Zippy.
It is Zippy. It's Zippy for me.
It's very in-depth.
It's Zippy in depth. It's zip depth.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
It's great. And then we're going to have an X interview with Kent, and that's coming up.
Yep.
And then next week, Nick will be the feedback show guest. And then after that, US Survivor will start, and I'll also do Survivor Global. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. How are you going to do it all?
Time Turner.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
All right,
that's
well, Shannon,
me.
keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Okay.
This was like a compliment sandwich, but just this was a lot in the middle, and just this was like a tiny little cracker at the end.
This is how us sparkly people do it, Shannon.
Yes.
That's just one of the tricks that you can do.
No. Ugh, you've learned nothing. You don't even know who Zara is.
What does she have to do with it?
Oh, I'm just saying, have you learned any? Whatever. I'm ending the podcast, guys.
Okay.
I hope.
All right. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our team behind the scenes. Thank you, Rob. Follow me at Shannon Gates. Okay, bye.